Today, we're talking about maybe everyone's least favorite topic when it comes to music, when it comes to bass playing, and that is reading music. Not tabs, but reading actual notes on the stage. Now, before you feel that anxiety setting in and you click away from the video, bear with me, because I have two exercises that if you use them just 2 or 3 minutes a day, if you run through these just once each per day, you're going to be an infinitely better reader. And equipped with the ability to read standard notation, you are, most importantly, going to have much quicker access to this whole other world of information that, if you previously didn't read music until seeing this video, you may not have had access to before. We're going to be working from my book, Bass Player's Guide to Sight Reading. If you want to dig deeper into any of the stuff we talk about in today's video, signed physical copies are available below. They ship worldwide from here in my studio. You can also get physical copies at Amazon, and you can get digital copies at my website, janekgwizdala.com/store. As you'll hear in a second, this book comes with a ton of play-alongs, so you can drill these exercises and really get the concept of reading standard notation ingrained into your muscle memory. If you don't understand anything about standard notation or how to read music or how rhythm works, we're going to start by simply chopping a bar of 4/4, 4 beats in a bar, up into 4. And we're going to try and recognize that there's a quarter note that happens on each beat, and every 4 beats comes a new bar. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, new bar, 2, 3, 4. So that's how we're breaking up a bar of music. And what I want you to do is to get this sight recognition, this visual recognition of what that looks like on a piece of paper. If you think mathematically, you could literally chop a bar up into 4 equal spaces. Instead of doing that, we use notes on a line, what's called the staff, and we use 4 quarter notes, a little black dot with a tail on it. And then when there's no music, when there's no sound in that space of a quarter note, we use a rest, a little squiggle, as you'll see in the musical notation I'm going to put up on the screen while we run through this first exercise. Now, whenever you're reading any music, especially for the first time, I find it useful to scan ahead in the page, see if there are some things I recognize. Maybe there are chord symbols, like in this first example we're going to use, and maybe those chord symbols are kind of familiar. In this case, it's a 2-5-1, it's in C, so we have D-7, G7, C, and then we have a little 3-6 going back to the top, a very familiar chord sequence and something you can immediately go, you know what? I have a little cheat route because I know what the harmony is, so I kind of have an idea what these notes are going to be. Obviously, the book dives so much deeper into the exact note recognition of every single note on the stave, every single rhythm, all the way from a whole note down to 30-second notes. That's the deep dive, the beginner's intro to it. We're going to deal in this exercise with quarter notes. We're going to deal with a simple harmony of 2-5-1. And the idea is to recognize on which beat of the bar there is a note. I think the most important thing is the internalization of that pulse, to always have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, like this silently ticking clock internally that sort of never switches off. You can always feel it or hear it or move to it somehow. If you've ever seen me or any musician play live, they're normally not sitting there stoically, like completely motionless. There's normally some flow to what they do. I know there is for me, whether I'm sitting or standing, there's always some sort of thing. Maybe the foot is moving slightly. maybe the shoulders are going, maybe the whole body is going, but there is something that you can see that signifies that internal clock is functioning, is alive and well inside me, and that's really helping focus my time and stay within the framework and the parameters of the music I'm playing. Okay, so we're going to take things up a notch here. This is a slightly more advanced exercise because it deals with a smaller subdivision of the bar, where before we were subdividing that one bar into 4 notes. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, bar, 2, 3, 4, bar. Now we're going to divide it into 16 notes. We've kind of skipped a step here. You can create eighth notes from quarter notes. So instead of da, 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 you go da, 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 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And now we'll slow the tempo down a little bit so we can fit all these notes in. Now it's 16 notes in a bar. It's 16 16th notes. So for every quarter note that we had before, there are now 4 notes subdividing that quarter note. And dagga dicka dagga dicka dagga dicka dagga dicka, 1 e and a 2 e and a 3 e and a 4 e and a 1 e and a 2 e and a 3 e and a 4 e and a 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. 1 e and a is a very common way to vocalize the subdivision of 16th notes. You could say 1 2 3 4. You could say whatever is most comfortable for you. I would recommend going with that. 1 e and a gives you a very specific point of each subdivision. The 1 is always going to be the quarter note. The e is going to be the second 16th note. The and is going to be the third, and the is going to be the fourth. So that's specificity in terms of vocalizing it. But I just want you to get comfortable with the fact that there are now 16 subdivisions in the bar instead of 4. Simply put, what we're doing in this next exercise is playing 1 16th note in each bar, and we're just doing the next one. We're going from the 1st to the 16th in sequence over 16 bars. I'll play it first and then we'll dive deeper into it afterwards. 1 2 3 and so we went on the downbeat 1, and then the second note was 1 e and a 2 3 4 1 e and a, and then 1 and 2 3 4 1 and 2, and so on and so forth, all the way down the sequence. Don't worry if you don't get this the first time. Don't worry if you don't get this the 10th time. Just immersing yourself in this exercise, working on really feeling every quarter note and how every quarter note of the bar is split into 4 smaller notes is huge. Just being immersed in that language, if you like, in that sound, is all adding to your ability to read, especially when you're doing it visually, when you have the music in front of you. And then, of course, the deeper into the book you get, we're not just staying static on one note. We're not doing it completely in sequence like that. Of course, I challenge you in the book to develop that ability, to build that muscle, that note recognition, that rhythm recognition. But it's simple exercises like these that really get you to that place of total freedom to be able to look at a piece of music and go, oh, da da ba da ba biddy boom, ba 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 da da da. And to see a rhythm like that and go, oh, I totally understand that. Because at the end of the day, what I just sang was simply displaced 16th notes. It's exactly this exercise, a little denser with a little more syncopation. But when you practice each detail of the 16th note grid of all of those syncopations, that's the priceless element of my routine, of what could be your routine. I would love to hear how you add either of these exercises or any reading exercises for that matter to your routine. Leave them in the comments below. I try to read and reply to every single question that gets posted. Again, if you want to dig deeper into this stuff, pick up Bass Player's Guide to Sight Reading either at my website, at Amazon, and of course, signed physical copies for those of you who want them, shipped worldwide from here in my studio. And at the end of the day, I just really hope I've pushed you maybe a little bit away from bass tab and to relying on all those kind of numbers and not really a practical way of assimilating or discovering music, and maybe pushed you a little bit towards standard notation and to a world of music that maybe you didn't have access to before. As always, I really appreciate you spending some of your incredibly precious time with me here on YouTube, learning about the bass, talking about music today, learning a little bit about reading standard notation. I'll see you all very soon.